2, 1. All right, we're back. Shop Class Podcast. Woo! All right, we got a good round table with special guest tonight, Tae Kang from Harbor Freight. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me on tonight. On behalf of the team at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, I'm just really grateful for the opportunity to talk with some awesome skilled trades teachers here today. And to all of you out there listening, thank you so much for joining.
Cool. Thanks for joining us, Tae. And we've actually got Greg coming in from California. How you doing, Greg?
Good. Yeah, thank you. I'm Greg Quern from San Diego Unified School District, and I directly support about 80 career technical education teachers. Wow. And but my passion is automotive because that's where I taught for many years. So interesting to hear what you got to present tonight. So thank you for letting me join.
And wait, Greg's actually he's not tooting his horn enough. Greg's got a great YouTube channel where he interviews legit old school hot rodders that go out to Bonneville and they push the limits of how much horsepower to weight ratio you can get out of an engine.
It just all happened by accident, guys. I just started like putting my stuff on YouTube to share with friends because it's too large to email. And then they, woke up one morning and had 30,000 views. I'm like, what the heck?
Oh, people are into that stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically like Burt Monroe type stuff,
Yeah.
And let's see. Here it is right here. We'll get into this a little later.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna pull it up? All right.
Oh, absolutely. This is so cool. Anyway, yeah. So and we got Rafi. Rafi is a really accomplished woodworker and metalworker, and also he's teaching. He started teaching a shop class, so now he's among the crowd.
All
now.
Right, welcome.
How you doing, Rafi?
Pretty good, thank you.
All right, Duke, regular as always, and he's coming in from East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, middle school shop teacher, and he's into entrepreneurship, and he always very encouraging of new suppliers coming into the industry. He's actually got some amazing support of the industry. He's got 3D printers and robots and whatnot that he's tried out and raising up the entrepreneurship, people trying to get into the industry and helping out the shop teachers. How you doing, Duke?
That's right. We're trying to get them young. Get that taste of using your hands, working with your hands. Once kids get into it, they love it, but just getting to that point.
And then unfortunately, Tim joined us. We don't really like him that much. Now, Tim's an amazing wood turner and a shop teacher, and he's basically taught every part of shop you could possibly teach. How you doing, Tim?
I'm all right. Thanks for the warm welcome. I appreciate that.
Tim knows I love him. So now, okay, so Tae, we're gonna get right into it. Let's talk about Harbor Freight. You're going big this year.
Yeah, we're going big. So we are really proud to announce the 2022 Harbor Freight Tools for Schools Prize for Teaching Excellence. This is our 6th year of the prize, and we are really excited and honored that we are increasing the amount of awards from 1 million to 1.25 million in cash prizes. We're also increasing the number of winners from 18 to 20. So we will have 5 grand prize winners who will each receive $100,000 and 15 prize winners who will each receive $50,000. And that's an increase from 3 grand prize winners last year, or the past 5 years, and we're now increasing it to 5. And yeah, we're just really, really excited. Thanks to the generosity of Eric Smith, the founder of Harbor Freight Tools and of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. And yeah, we're just really pumped, and we hope to encourage as many public high school skilled trades teachers out there to apply.
That's great.
Did you add a middle school category yet, or is there any talk about it?
Dude, that's a great question. That we continue to discuss it. We continue to think about it. There are people on our team who make very passionate cases for it. But right now, our leadership has decided to keep focusing on high schools. But, we do take your thoughts and consideration into consideration and advisement. So, is there a reason why you feel that middle school skilled trades is really important and
I
essential?
just represent the middle school for the Shop Class podcast, so I'm just asking the questions. I just want to make sure that we're still on your radar.
Yeah, absolutely, and we continue to think about it, continue to discuss it, but our focus has been to really dive deep with high schools right now. I do want to say though that Harbor Freight Tools, the company, does donate gift cards to a variety of K through 12 public school programs. So if you go to harborfreightgivingback.com, that's again at harborfreightgivingback.com. You can find a link to make a request for a Harbor Freight Tools gift card, including for middle school programs. So that is one way that we do support, or that Harbor Freight Tools, the company, does support middle school programs. But our prize is currently focused on high schools.
And only public schools?
Yes, currently only public schools. Yep.
Sorry, Rafi.
Also a really good question, and also something that we get asked about a lot. And we know there's great need everywhere, and we know there are great teachers everywhere, but where our leadership has decided to really focus on is the U.S. public high schools skilled trades, and to start there. And we do get these questions about private schools, we do get these questions about middle schools all the time, and it is something that we think about and consider really seriously.
So here's the K-12 support right here.
Yes, exactly. So if you click on at the top right, you see request a donation. If you click that, Ron, if you could click that, it's just a really quick form. It's a lot shorter than the prize application, which I'm happy to talk further about on this call. But yeah, this is a much quicker and easier way to get funds than our prize application per se.
Nice. It's interesting. Harbor Freight, I think the reputation has grown as a reliable place to get your tools and whatnot. I think even you're past that now. Like you're far into enthusiasts now.
Oh, awesome.
And just among the people that I talk with, and I personally buy the titanium welders for my classes. It's because I have a private school as well. Even though I'm a public school teacher, that wasn't enough use of my day. So nights and weekends, I'm actually teaching a shop class, intro to welding and whatnot. And I use the titanium welders, and I got to tell you, they work really well, and they're super lightweight. And so when people ask me about, hey, where should I get my welder? And I say, look, I gotta tell you, you could go to Harbor Freight, and then if you're hesitant, just try it. If it doesn't work, just return it. And I have not had to return any of the welders, and they keep on going, and we abuse them, so it's pretty cool. Like the quality's going way up.
Hey, Ron, can I add my 2 cents?
Yeah, go ahead.
So during the pandemic, and Ty, this is pretty cool. I think you might want to hear this. We in our automotive classes, we didn't have hands-on projects for our kids, right? They're all doing distance learning. So we approached our local Harbor Freight, and we ended up buying the little Predator 3.5 horsepower engine, and we put together a toolkit with the Quinn tools, the Quinn brand. So they had ratchet, wrenches, rag, gloves. We had a padded blanket. We had a box, everything, a tool bag. And we sent those kits home to the kids during distance learning. So it was very successful. And our local Harbor Freight did a great job at getting the supplies for us and getting us a discount. And the tools were really quality too. The Quinn brand is a good quality. So we had a dial caliper. We had a little 1/4-inch torque wrench in there. I mean, the whole thing, we were able to do these kits for about $250 a piece, including the engine. So it was really awesome to send those to the kids.
That's great.
That's great, Ron, and that's great, Greg. Thanks so much for sharing that. I think that's an ethos, a passion for the trade shared by the company, as well as the philanthropic initiative of Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Like, we're technically and officially part of the Smith Foundation, which is Eric Smith's foundation, and we're under that umbrella of the foundation. But yeah, from the company folks to the foundation folks, there's a great belief, right, in the importance and the impact of skilled trades and skilled trades education on jobs across our country, on on developing a workforce, and giving students careers and opportunities that they may not have necessarily had. So yeah, so on behalf of the foundation, and I can, I'm sure the company folks can really attest to the deep care that they have for all the work that you all do in your classrooms each and every day.
And just make sure you send a check in the mail for everything we just said so far. Expecting payment. No, not for real. Listen, you can buy stuff anywhere, but it works out pretty good. We're just being honest here. The other thing, I want to mention it that Matt Bloomquist is in the house. And
hey, Matt, good to see you.
Yeah, Matt's a high school teacher, and he's building the house from scratch. He does it every year. It's unbelievable. That's the class is actually on a job site. It's unbelievable. And he's killing it. So if you follow along with him with Instagram, you can see the progress on the house. They do like high performance and whatnot.
And I'm proud to say that Matt was a finalist, right, for our 2021 Harbor Freight Tools for Schools Prize for Teaching Excellence. He's done some awesome work in Illinois. It was great reading his application, and he was one of 61 finalists last year, and that's a record high, right? Typically in past years, we've had like 50, 52 finalists, but there's so many awesome teachers out there doing such great work. And Matt, your application was, awesome. The stories that you shared, especially about building a house, and want to commend you on being a finalist, and hope you will apply again this year for sure.
Yeah, definitely applying. That was good motivation to apply this year again. So spring break is next week, so I'll be working hard on that next week during spring break.
For sure.
I guess that's what teachers do at spring break.
Yeah. And
Kidding me.
The deadline for folks is May 20th, right? We launched the prize on March 23rd, and we give everyone until Friday, May 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific. So that's like 2 months or 8 weeks, however you want to look at it, for people to work on the application. And we encourage people to take that time fully, right? Our application is it's all written. It's meant to be really rigorous. And, we want, as we're giving out 1.25 million, we want people, who are the cream of the crop, who really put a lot of work and effort into the application. So, you can start your application now, and we encourage you to do so, or encourage folks out there to do so. But, you have the time. You don't need to submit in the next week or in the next 2 weeks. You have until Friday, May 20th to submit. So definitely want to encourage people to start, but to really think about and reflect on their background and experiences, and to engage with the application and the learning module as a whole. Yeah, so I can answer any further questions. Matt, do you want to maybe talk about your experience applying and being a finalist and getting to the second round, and tips on the learning modules and dealing with those? Any thoughts there?
Wait, Matt, before you
Yeah.
wait 1 second.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
Tae, where do I go to previous winner finalists so I can pull up profiles?
Yeah, sure. So if you go to so right now, Ron is looking at is the prize platform website, which is hftforschoolsprize.org, right? I need to sometimes, saying that better up front, hftforschoolsprize.org, right? And so what we're looking at now is a few of our past 2021 winners. We're featuring 3 of our winners from last year: Scott Burke from Lakewood, Colorado, Kim Rosenbaum from Monticello, Indiana, and then also John Gunderson from San Antonio, Texas. And you can read their bios and a little bit about their programs there. But if you go to harborfreighttoolsforschools.org, right? If you go to harborfreighttoolsforschools.org, underneath the What We Do site, there is a tab for the prize for teaching excellence. So Ron, you want to go to Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Yeah. Right. So if you go to What We Do, and you go to prize for teaching excellence, and then you go to 2021 prize. There's a box there.
Yep.
All right. And what you can see is there should be a small tab for final. If you click that, you should click that.
I'm clicking that.
Is it not taking you there?
No, there's no reaction to that.
That's strange. But if you click that, for folks out there, if you click that, you scroll a bit, there's a list of finalists, and Matt's on there. Matt Blomquist is on there. So
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. All
yeah,
right.
that's really odd. I don't have an answer for that. For
Yeah,
you.
it's not like reacting to it. All right. Anyway, sorry, Matt. I just wanted to pull up your profile. Okay. All right, go ahead. Yeah, Matt. What? Yeah, give us some insight. Oh, there it goes. It was a delay.
That's weird, but yeah, if you scroll a bit, Matt's name should be on there. So
Nice.
There it is. Yeah.
there it is.
Towards,
All right.
Yeah, and actually, we also had a finalist at the Capital Area Career Center, which is in Springfield, Illinois, which is just 30 minutes over from us. I think it was welding class. They're doing a lot of great things. So yeah, having two finalists only 30 minutes apart was pretty cool for Central Illinois here. So yeah, as far as the like Tae said, obviously it's rigorous. You're going after a lot of money, so you gotta do your work. If you're gonna do it the night before, don't even start. You're not gonna get through it unless you can really can pull it off. I mean, I guess some people used to do it in college, I suppose. But yeah, the nice thing is once you start applying, if you haven't already applied, people who've already applied know this, but people who haven't, once you apply that first year, some of your questions, especially your basic intro questions, are repeated. You will have to update those, though. It does, because obviously you've done more in a year, so you're updating that kind of that general background information on yourself, and you're making it better from just learning, going through the system and the process. Once you get through to the finalists, then you get another round of modules. Hold on, buddy. We'll do just a second, okay? You'll get another round of modules, video modules. They're really good. Interesting topics. They're going to make you think. I know there was one. I think it was data collection, and it's something that we were just starting to get involved in, but I'd never really thought much about. And about the time I was asked about that, then some opportunities soon after came about, which I wish would have came about before I got asked the question, because I would have had so much more to talk about, but that's just how it goes. But yeah, the questions are good, and they're definitely, forward thinking as far as, pushing the classroom farther. I'd almost relate it even to kind of business professional development almost, right? I mean, in the way we work as a shop teacher, our classes are a little bit business minded, how we run it. We work with different kinds of budgets. We did work with different kinds of things. We are a career driven, we're on a pathway compared to, other classes where it may just be general education. So I think you guys do a really good job in making you think about those kinds of things. And whether you get past that point or not, it's things you can automatically take back to your classroom and utilize. So yeah, if you get to the next round, it's I think it's only maybe three more modules or something, but you really got to think about them.
Yeah. So this year for round one, we have one learning module, and then for round two, we'll have one learning module as well. We know that teachers are busy, especially during the summers and during the school year. And so that is something that we've heard from people, that our application, while rigorous, we want to be mindful of teachers' times, and we do take that feedback into consideration and in a thoughtful way. So, but thank you for everything you said there. I think you're spot on that. We are giving out a lot of money. All right, and the grand prize winners each get $100,000. And I've said this before in the past, but the $70,000 goes towards the program, and $30,000 goes towards your own pocket, right? And then the prize winners, the 15 prize winners, each receive $50,000, with $35,000 going towards their program and $15,000 going towards their own pocket. So you can use that funds in however way you wish, whether that's for your program or for yourself. I see that Tim has raised his hand. Tim, you have a question? Happy to help it answer.
Yeah. So I got the notification on all my emails that the Harbor Freight was, put out their program again, and I started going through the application and filling things out. And to make it official, I reached out to my board office and superintendent, and they said that you're not allowed to get the money allotted to you. I think a lot of people don't check with their board offices, and they check everything's okay. And I checked with the board office to confirm that, hey, I want to do this the right way. And they says, no, if you win, the money's a school, and the money is the school's.
Thanks so much for sharing that. We've heard that too. And, that is, number one, we want to make sure that we can support the teachers in receiving the funds. So, and if, to make sure our winners get that, but, at the same time, if teachers aren't able to receive the funds, they can still apply, right? All the funds will then go towards the program, but we want to make sure that those funds go directly to and for your program only, right? Like that those funds can't be used for like the football program, right? For new bleachers, or for like they can't be used for like the history program to get new textbooks, right? That it has to be used for your program and only, and however that the ways in which you want to use it, that you're at the table able to make those decisions for yourself. So if that is something of interest for you, then we definitely encourage you to apply. Or maybe one day the board or the school district will change their rules if that's when you want to apply. But I appreciate you sharing that, right? And what we try to do is that for the teachers who are able to receive the funds, we're not sending one check to the school districts or the school so that they're cutting another check. We cut one check for the teacher and one check for the school, right? So we make those separate in the cases where teachers are able to receive the funds.
Timmy, just say you got second place and pocket the rest.
Yeah, don't even tell anybody.
No, it was just, and I know there's a lot of people out there that have the same concerns that I do, and then they don't voice them, and that's why I'm asking the question, because keeping that in mind.
No problem. It's a thing. No, I appreciate that, Tim. Yeah, no problem.
And to support the program and support the whole thing. Yes, the application is very rigorous. The questions are very thoughtful. The questions are very pointed. The questions are very, skill trade oriented. And it's a great application. Yeah, it pushes you to think outside of the box. And it is a good application. It really is.
Thank you, Tim.
I'm nervous. I've always heard that it's a difficult process. Like you really do have to work on it. And Barbercheck was, I think, one of the first ones among this kind of group that won the award. And he was saying, he's like, it's serious. Like, if you're going to do it, you got to go all in. I want to introduce David Kornitzer is on the podcast for the first time. He actually works with me. He's he's a shop teacher that's in the science department. We pulled him in. And he actually has his own contracting business on the side. He does, I would say, I guess you call it odd jobs or whatever, trim and built-ins.
Lots of odd jobs.
David?
So, hey, oh my God, sorry. Hey, how's everyone doing today? Again, thank you, Ron, for inviting me. I just started my contracting business, and I started about a year ago, but now I'm finally doing the social media thing. Not very computer or tech savvy, so Ron gave me a good idea to hire someone to start doing it for me, and hopefully it'll start taking off. But yeah, that's where I am right now.
But it's great because he's a science teacher, brings in a lot of the hands-on work. They do stuff like that. So David, this is a possibility. You could apply for this grant.
Would it apply really to me though? Because it's like, I'm very STEAM involved. So I teach anatomy, physiology. But
good question, Tae.
What I do with anatomy, physiology is like I have kids creating like prosthetic arms, but then I also have students creating even for sports, like how to correct your form, anything that has to do with the body. So I have some kids doing that. So I don't know if it would really apply to this.
But you do make stuff. There's a lot of three-dimensional
things.
Like
a kid just made a little mechanism where you put it between your fingers so that way you could shoot a basketball with your fingers separated all the time.
So I guess this would be
So
more.
I don't know if
trade.
that's sorry.
Yeah, so if the class is like a manufacturing class, then or labeled as that or designated that, it would account, but not like health sciences or anatomy or physiology. The programs we support typically are like the traditional shop classes, carpentry, construction, automotive, welding. That's where Eric's really decided to focus on and where he's really passionate about supporting, and that's where he wants to invest in and make an impact. So yeah, happy to answer any other questions. I did have one other thing I really wanted to talk about before I got to go, but happy to answer a few more questions.
Yeah, go for it. If I don't know if there are any other questions. Does anybody have anything?
Yeah, I do have another one. The
sure.
the other question that I do have, or that some people like me who teach a broad range of stuff, they may not necessarily teach welding, or they may not necessarily teach carpentry skills or manufacturing skills or any of that, and you may be like a jack of all, if you will.
Yeah.
How do you try to summarize that in your application, that you're teaching skilled trade concepts, but you're not a welding teacher, and you're not a plumbing teacher, and you're not, a cabinet making teacher, but you teach all those things?
That's a great question, Tim. So Ron, if you actually want to go to, can you go up a bit? If you want to click the link at the top called The Prize.
Yep.
Right. And if you scroll down a bit, there are the types of programs that are eligible, right? Like agriculture mechanics, carpentry, construction, electrical, HVAC, manufacturing, plumbing, transportation mechanics, welding. We know that there are some teachers who teach a little bit of all that, right? Like in a class called like industrial technology or industrial arts or shop, right? Like that, if you teach these principles, or you teach these lessons, right? Then or these units, then yeah, you're definitely eligible to compete, right? We have, instead of a check only box on our application, we could do a select all that applies. So if you teach a little bit of carpentry, if you teach a little bit of manufacturing, teach a little bit of welding, then check those boxes, all right? And then share what the name of your program is. But yeah, we've had applicants come from like industrial industrial technology, or some people from engineering, right? Where they teach these hands-on skills and hands-on learning with tools, then yeah, they're definitely eligible to apply for the prize.
Yeah, cool. The question kind of is like, how do you convey that in your application though?
Hey man, that's up to you.
As Ron just said, that's up to you. That you want to share, right? If you want to share like the types of lessons you're teaching, if you want to take them through the journey of a student, right? Like when they enter their first year, what do they learn? What do they learn their second semester? What do they learn when they graduate? Like by the time they graduate, what kind of credentials or certifications are they walking away with? Or how many credits are they walking away with in terms of dual credit? Or if you want to share kind of qualitative stories, like about a student who didn't know how to use a hammer or never used a saw before, and then they learned those things because of you, right? And they never believed in themselves because of stuff that they're experiencing at home or stuff that they've experienced in the past, and they're able to now learn these important skills thanks to you. Like those are the kinds of stories we want to hear. Those are the kinds of data points that we want to hear about. Like how many students are graduating, how many students go into industry after you're learning about this, right? Like that's what kind of impact are you making in these students' lives each and every day, inside and outside of the classroom?
Yeah, that's okay. That's really, yes, that definitely answers the question. Yeah, that really does. It helps.
Tim, it's perfect for you. I mean, Tim's got some great stories. He really is a passionate artist that happens to be a shop teacher. That's really what Tim is.
For sure.
He's for real, Tim. I'm not trying to, as for real. He the wood. They make fine woodworking, and there's definitely a story behind that.
That's beautiful. And what I do want to add is that each question, right, is a 2,000 character minimum or maximum, right? So What we encourage people to do
Oh, forget it,
like
Tim. That's
copy-
it. It's
the
over now
questions,
'cause he
put
can't
them on a
compress
different
it.
like Word document, and then answer them on your own time off the platform, right? And so you have the questions on a separate Word document or on a different note, and for you to kind of think about it or read each question, reflect on it, and then go back and answer it as you see fit. I think that's a tip that a lot of teachers have found successful, is that rather than just staring at the screen all at once or try to do it all in one sitting, like pulling it, thinking about it separately, and then maybe like trying to include as many like, stories or like things that your students, alums have come back and said to you, right? Or if you've received like an email from someone saying like, you were the teacher who changed my life, to make sure to include that, right? So it's a balance of the quantitative data, but the qualitative storytelling that's really important. Matt, I see you raised your hand.
Yeah, go for it, Matt.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, and I'll make it quick so Tae can get to whatever his next point he wanted to make was. That's a good question, Tim, because one thing I found out, and Tae explained it pretty well, was, my program, my hook is build houses with high school kids. It was really cool. Thing is, I talk very little bit about it because the way the questions are asked, it's not really about, like Tae said, it's not so much about the fact that we build houses or the fact that, you guys turn things, like Tae said, the stories that come out of what we do in the classroom. And that's really spot on, Tae, when you said that. And that's good advice for anyone listening, because I remember telling a story about, one of my students went into trades and went into welding. He wasn't even the program that built houses, and how much of an impact it made. And that was one of the stories I told. And now when you say that, Tae, I talked about the house building program, but that definitely wasn't the stories I was telling. So that good question, Tim, because a lot of people are probably in the same mindset. Like, oh my God, I do all these things. I got this cool program. How do I talk about it? And then really, it is about the program, but it's all about what you've done with the kids that made a difference. Find the things that made the difference, right, Tae? I guess that'd be the easiest way to say it.
Matt, you're 100% right. Like, every teacher, I think that they can write, I love my students. I love teaching the trades. I make a difference in the lives of their kids, but our judges are trying to see how, right? Or they're trying to, when they read your application, they're trying to read your writing. They're trying to you want to paint them a picture of what's happening in their classroom. And the more like detail you can share, the more examples, right? The just more clear and full picture that our judges will get, right? And so that they can see and evaluate what's happening in your program. We know and are sure that you as teachers love your students, do so much important work. But the only way we can, see that fully from our end is through the stories and the data that you share with us. So definitely try to include as much as you can in the character count allotted. So that being said, I want to say that we are committed to continuous improvement as an organization, right? And Duke, thank you for literally the first question you asked about middle schools. Rafi, thank you for asking about private schools. These are questions we get a lot and questions we talk about and consider. But what we did is we actually did an evaluation of the prize of the last 5 years. And the data that's come out of it is really encouraging for us. And I wanted to share that a little bit with you. And Ron, if you want to go back to harborfreighttoolsforschools.org, right? You can see there are 2 posts that we just uploaded. If you scroll to the bottom, right, and there's 2 posts, or go up a little bit further, just a little bit. Those 2, right, at the top, right. So just want to share some quick data points with you all, right, that we've gathered in our evaluation of the prize. So more than 70% of our winners and the winning principals said that the prize increased public awareness of what their program's doing, right, and that more than 70% of our winners said enrollment increased in their CT programs, and that more parents were willing to consider skilled trades education for their students, right? And that more than 70% of our winners reported an increase in local employers reaching out to collaborate with the school, and that greater collaboration in aligning with skilled trades offerings to meet business needs. So what we see is that the prize isn't just a one-off, that it's not just about the money and we say, here you go, and then say farewell, good luck, right? We invest in our winners, right? And we see that the community responds and invests back into the programs as well. So another reason why to apply, and another reason to encourage you to go for the prize, is that this level of community support really rises. And that includes coming from us here at Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, right? We also invest in our prize winners through an annual summit called Let's Build It, where we bring everyone together in the summer, all right? And we gather together, we allow teachers to network, to share ideas, to share best practices. We also have dinners together, to go explore, Los Angeles, or other big cities together, to have a great time over dinner and drinks, and and over work, and idea sessions. So that is another way we invest in and support our teachers. And what we're really proud to see also through the evaluation is that around 9 to 10 winners say they now feel they have a responsibility to be advocates for skilled trades education in their communities, and are more passionate about what they do because of winning the prize. And there's that old Spider-Man quote, right? With great power, there must also be great responsibility. And we notice that our skilled trades teachers, with the support they've been receiving, also take on the responsibility of giving back to their communities as well. So that's the last thing I really want to share. And
yeah, it's great.
Besides, encourage you all to apply. Again, the deadline for applications is Friday, May 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can start and begin your application at hftforschools.prize.org. So other than that, I just want to say thank you for having me here tonight. And Ron, this has been great, just thank you all for your questions and insights, and hope you apply again soon.
Yeah, that's great. Tae, thanks for joining us. I know you got to go, so I'll let you go. I really appreciate it. It was right to the point, and I think we're going to stay on and discuss this a little bit further. But thank you for your time, and looking forward to seeing you in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you all. Talk to you soon.
Okay. See you later. What we could do is we could kind of keep it rolling for a little bit. I think it's good to actually package that into one short video. So maybe we'll have a little roundtable reaction for like 5 minutes, but then I'm going to stop the recording so it's a package. One thing I will react to him saying is, the quotes that he was referring to from the previous winners and the impact of those wins. To me, it's kind of like what the Shop Class podcast is kind of all about, which is that it's not just teaching shop class in one particular district, right? So like if you teach shop class and you never really pick your head up to look at the other possibilities, like connecting with shop teachers on the Shop Class podcast, or connecting through Instagram, or going to trade shows, if you never really do that, I could see getting very stuck in the district, because the school district is only by chance supporting the trades. A lot of them got rid of it completely. And so I would say, applying for this, if you win or don't win, what you're doing is you're reaching out beyond just your classroom. And what I always say to a lot of teachers is that, you have a career. Your job is located in the town where you work, but you have a career. So when sometimes the teachers say, well, oh, I can't do this project, or I can't do that, or can't do that because the district is restrictive or whatever. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's just where your feet are on the floor, but you have a career. So, like I get in trouble like at least twice a year, and that's how I know I'm in the right place, So, but I've been very lucky because of over the years, we've had a lot of back and forth with my district when I first got there. but they supported crazy ideas like building an electric car back in 2008. But it was a wild idea, you know? So if you've got a wild idea, like applying for this big money prize, and then you're going to build something massive or robust your program, this is it, you know, like this is the vibe, you know, that I think a lot of shop teachers are missing. And it's happening now, but there's still probably some shop teacher out there, highly skilled craftsperson, that is not connected to the Shop Class podcast or to Harbor Freight or reaching out. And to that person, I would say, or to their friend, hey, grab that person and we get them on the next one, you know, like reach out. We're all going to connect and share ideas. So that's what I would say about, you know, the vibe of this whole thing. Yeah.
Ron, I've got some, I was in a meeting the other day where I had to bring up some numbers of, you know, shop classes, automotive classes that are still in existence. And I have some stats here, but a gentleman by the name of Steve Ford, who's very active in the LA area, very passionate like all of us are. He gave me the numbers that LA Unified has 125 high schools. So just think about that. One district, 125 high schools. Unfortunately, only 6 of the 125 have automotive programs.
Wow.
Okay? Now, let me give you the numbers from 1987. In 1987, LA Unified at that time only had 100 high schools even, but they had 85 automotive programs.
Amazing.
So think of, you know, if you think of the size of Los Angeles, you know, and millions and millions of people, millions and millions of cars, but and that 125 high schools represents, I believe, you know, the total population of LA Unified, I think is like 625,000 students. So out of 625,000 students, there's only 6 programs that can offer auto programs. So, you know, and at least for my district, we have 22 high schools and 5 automotive programs. I did have more at one point, and you know, but again, it's important, like you said, about, you know, the few schools that have a CTE or a, you know, vocational program that is still alive and going. And I think the unitedness of a group like this and getting the people together is important. And I mentioned to you earlier, Ron, and I don't want to take too much time, but recently I was able to connect with in person with a couple schools in the Gallup, New Mexico area that are on the Navajo reservations, and they have automotive programs. And it was pretty, you know, it was eye-opening to actually see it, to go on the reservation and see the high school and see that they have an automotive program. And that's kind of why I joined this, to see if maybe I can get them to apply for the Harbor Freight, because they need resources. I walked into the program and they teach auto shop and they don't have cars to work on. I'm like, wow. How do you do that? You know, so it's, you know, it's a matter of, you know, but again, if we can get those guys on this podcast and they're, you know, they're understanding, they're hearing from, you know, like I want to hear more from Matt, because Matt, if he builds houses, right, with the kids going and build houses, he obviously knows how to cut through the red tape. And that's, you know, there's a lot of red tape that we got to get through in a lot of things we do. So,
yeah.
But
Matt's been training for this for a year. He's hanging out with bearded guys and flannels.
Oh, that's it.
He's taking road trips to Las Vegas, Florida. He's taking, you know, English writing classes 101.
Yeah.
Eating his Wheaties, doing his push-ups. He's ready.
That's funny.
It's been quite the year.
I just listened to him on the contracting handbook podcast, Mike Kanoki.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one, Matt. Nice job.
Thanks. Yeah, being on Mike's show is an easy one though. He makes those things good. But thank you, Duke. That was a good one. Yeah, and Greg, that's actually what we talked about on that was, you know, kind of the blueprint for setting up these programs. And whether it's a house building or a full-blown auto shop, I don't think there's any difference of what it takes to make these things happen, because it's all about a community involvement, you know, to make it happen and stuff. And that's what we really talked about. So, you know, I know for me, it's a house building program, but I don't see why you couldn't apply the same, I guess, goals to any starting up any shop program, no matter what it is, to make it happen. Because a lot of it has to do with community involvement, and, you know, industry support, pretty much, you know, getting the getting the masses behind you. So it makes it an easier, yes, for the schools to, take on the challenge of starting. Man, those numbers though, Greg, holy cow, that was, I'm not surprised by any of it, but that is,
it's terrible.
almost deflating.
And I'm in the position where I'm not in the classroom anymore, but I'm in the central office, but I support a lot of CTE teachers across engineering, culinary arts, automotive, welding, machine tool, construction technology. So, we have a team. We're successful we're lucky and fortunate in our district that we have a team of folks like myself who are former teachers who actually are now in a supporting role for teachers. But a lot of districts don't have that. They have one person who oversees the CTE for the entire district, and they don't even know all their teachers. So, it's important to have these support mechanisms in place, but also we have other challenges. And I don't know, again, I don't want to go on a soapbox, but, we have, like, for example, in the state of California, all of our CTE classes have to be what they call UCA to G approved. So you have to prove that, your curriculum, your class is meeting the university requirements for a student to graduate and be college ready. And that curriculum and course and so on has to be reviewed and approved by the college board. And for many years, our automotive courses were never UC approved. They would say that they're not rigorous enough. And I'm like, how are they not rigorous enough? We're teaching physics, chemistry, electronics, math, science, geometry, it's all in there. And so recently we're able to get our courses approved, but now I need to work to educate the other teachers, like those teachers in LA Unified, that their courses do now meet the university requirements if they teach to that format and they adopt that curriculum. So, but again, a lot of those resources and those, that information is not available to teachers. And there's a possibility that those 6 remaining auto shops out of 125 schools, a year from now, it could be 5. And then the following year it could be 4. Because it was 85. There were 85.
Unbelievable. Greg, I have a good friend of mine that he just retired, but he taught shop at Santee.
Yeah. Jacob Bagdell.
What's that?
Was it Bagdell? Jake Bagdell?
No, it's Tony Santana.
Oh, Tony Santana, yes. Santana.
Which is ironic because the high school is called Santana High School, unrelated, and it's in Santee.
Yes.
But, this guy, man, he, like, before the SUV, he would graft a Jaguar nose on a Mazda MPV to make it look like a Jaguar SUV, and they painted it and they did the body. They would do stuff like this way before it hit the market. So it's kind of like a prototyping hot rod place. They did a lot of off-road work. They would take Subarus and put them on tube chassis so that they would be more like a Jeep, but with a Subaru engine, so low down weight. And he had a top that had it was basically, he made Transformers. Unbelievable. It was a Cadillac with a Ford F-150 tail. So it was like a El Camino Cadillac. It was unbelievable. I was actually trying to pull up the photos. I have all these photos. But, man, he said that when he retired, they cleared it out.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like,
dude, it's sad. I mean, I even myself, I've had to close programs. I mean, I don't close them, but I've had to go collect all the tools and move them to the other shop. But it's hard. And getting back to what Tim was saying about not being able to get that, if he applied for the grant, that he wouldn't be able to get that little bit of funds. That kind of reminds me of something where, we need to be able to incentivize our instructors, to keep them engaged and to show the passion of what they do. Because all of us are underpaid and overworked. There's no doubt about that. It doesn't matter which district we work in, and we're always asked to do more and more and more.
I just don't think, I wouldn't put that much weight on a district. I just think the districts are the location. And if by chance you have a great district, it's literally by chance, and then, you build a relationship, but then you know what? You could build a relationship and then someone retires and a new person comes in, and the district totally changes. So I hear you, but I would encourage people listening to this to think about the bigger picture and not so much the one particular scenario. We had some strange things happen with some grants that came in, but I just saw the bigger picture, and the result is crazy. Like, we were working on an electric car, and some of those kids, one kid works at Tesla, another kid works at Proterra, which is like a battery pack company. I mean, the results of a small grant are like exponential. You know what I mean? And it's just like, wow, believe me, it'll all come back in good faith for you anyway. So it's like a couple grand here, a couple grand there. I don't know. It's really not going to make the difference in one particular scenario. I would go bigger. Go bigger, Tim. Go bigger, go home,
Well, isn't Harbor Freight the big? I think that's the go big.
No, you're thinking too small. Like, even if
Tim should apply for the superintendent position, you're saying.
Oh, heck no. Heck no.
Yeah, I mean, even if Harbor Freight gave you $1 million, that's small compared to the result of, like, can you imagine what is the career worth of a kid who graduates your program, and, like, instead of floundering, they, like, immediately start an amazing career? What if 10 kids come out of your program, or per year, that, like, really do well? Like, that's worth way more than $1 million if you add up all the salaries.
You're right. You're exactly right. You're right.
Yeah, you're thinking way too small. Not for nothing, Tim. You're thinking like your impact is way bigger than that. Way big. Harbor Freight is the highlight tonight, and I love what they're doing. But it's tiny compared to, imagine if your students, like, have these flourishing careers because you kickstarted their career. Come on. I didn't have shop class growing up, Tim. So anything you're doing, let me just say this, because you maybe don't hear it enough. Anything you're doing is better than what I got growing up. Okay? So you are kicking so much butt. You just don't realize it. That's why we always highlight the bowl turnings and I didn't have shop class. I had basketball, baseball, and a junkyard. Literally a junkyard. I actually went back to a pick apart place, like where they let you walk around. And I love it because the vibe is the same as when I was 17. Yep. You walk in, the guy thinks you're going to steal something. And, and he's like, because this is East Coast. I don't know what it's like on the West Coast, but, like, East Coast, you walk in and I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to buy anything. I just want to, I'm just going to get, like, a broken fender, and I want to try it out in the classroom. And he goes, what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Over there, like, he's watching you the whole time, and, it's like, that was my education growing up. So, Tim, your kids have woodworking, fine woodworking, turning, probably a little bit of electricity construction. You are, like, light years ahead of what I grew up with. So yeah. you just don't realize it. You just don't realize it.
I get it. I get it.
Think bigger, man. Go big.
It reminds you keep getting older, but pick apart, it stays the same age.
It's the same thing. The guy thought he's like, he didn't want to shake my hand. He's like, oh, Okay. I mean, fair enough. This one's, like, close to Jersey City. It's, like, in North Bergen, New Jersey. It's like, there's, like, a highway right next to it. It's pretty serious. Oh my God. I cannot believe there's like this thick, like, your shoes are, like, sticking to the floor as you walk. There's so much oil and grease on the ground. It's, like, unbelievable. Anyway. All right. Long story short, this was really good. Does anybody have anything else they want to mention about this situation? All right. We're going to end it here. Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. Get out there and apply. Think big, right? Think bigger. Okay. I'm going to end the recording right there. Pow!